Please give the massive, massive, massive welcome that is much deserved by our panellists. They are, I'm excited, they are Peter Capaldi, Jenna Coleman, Stephen Moffat, Michelle Gomez, and Samuel Anderson. We've all seen the trailers for the Christmas special.
Yeah.
Is Santa, A, is Santa a Time Lord? And B, is he evil?
Santa could never be evil, for heaven's sake. Santa is both real and a Christmas hero, for heaven's sake. No, don't worry. Any parents are worried about that. Santa is presented as he is in real life, as a great Christmas hero. And if you figure it out, you know, Nicholas Frost, do you see? Right? He actually is the real Santa.
How is it being involved with a programme that has this times about 10 million that are absolutely and utterly obsessed with it? How has that changed your already wonderful lives?
Well, it's delightful, really. I mean, it's what happens is if you have the great privilege, as I do, of playing this character that is loved by so many people, you become the focus for all that, the affection. And really what's happened to me is I've ridden the wave that has been created by Chris Eccleston and David Tennant and Matt Smith. You know, those are the guys with Stephen and Russell who've made the show so successful abroad. And so suddenly you find yourself going to countries where literally millions of people are crazy about this show that you always thought was yours and was very British and was very small. And it's delightful because they're sort of pleased to see me because they think I'm Doctor Who.
So, Michelle, you have been amazing in this series. Am I not right? Yeah. And were you aware of what you were letting yourself in for?
Well, the thing is, I'm having a hard time being the master now because I had to keep that secret for so long, and it's only just being revealed to me that I'm the master. And so I don't know. I'm still very much in Missy's mind, if you like. But no, it was when my agent called to say that I would be taking on this role, and I was a huge Who fan. My family were, and we all grew up with Doctor Who, and so I just couldn't quite get my head around it. And I sort of thought, oh my God, being like the first female masters, like up there was being like Hillary Clinton running for female presidency. It's like that big in my household.
I would say it's bigger than that. Peter.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who doesn't think you're a brilliant Doctor Who, and that's quite a thing to say from Doctor Who fans. But now I see you in it, I can't... When there was that who's going to be the next Who, when you were named, I thought, how could I have possibly thought of anyone else? This is so absolutely perfect. When you came to the part, did you have a very clear idea of what you...
No, I didn't have a particularly clear idea. I just thought what an amazing show it is. How it's sad and funny, and it's got Cybermen, and it's got Missy in it, and it's got Jenna, and it's got space and laughs and melancholy and adventure. And that's really, really difficult to do. But the person that does it is Stephen. You know, we bring our gifts, whatever they might be, to bear on it. But this is an astonishing achievement, and it's Stephen that does it. And when I saw these episodes, the finale, I just felt really proud and privileged to be part of that creative process.
And Jenna, did you feel your character has blossomed?
I think the difference is that last series she had to remain more of an enigma. She was the impossible girl, so the audience couldn't be... She wasn't as accessible to the audience, whereas this is the first series we've actually got to know her maybe more independently of of the Doctor. We've got to see the world that she lives in, the environment and the habitat that she's in between going off and travelling with the Doctor. So I think it's the stories this series have let us do that more.
Michelle, when you played the Master, did you go back and look at any old... When I say old masters, I don't mean Rembrandt.
With the Master and it being this big reveal and this big sort of transgender thing, I wanted to, and this helped with my being lazy, do nothing and then just see what happened on the day and sort of try and remain really open and in it on the day, and you know, have these amazing actors to work off. So whatever they did, I would just sort of try and keep up, and that's basically that's it, really.
Was that Cyberman outfit as massively uncomfortable as it looked?
After the first half an hour at 25 degrees, yeah, and they sculpted it on a left-handed person. That was, you know, an average male, but he was left-handed, so his left arm was bigger than everyone's, and his right was small. Every one of us were like, my arm is killing, bloody hell.
What about you? Peter coming into the show, and Jenna's already there, so she's a settled thing. Was that a big help to you?
Yeah, because she's an amazing actress, but she's absolutely lovely person. And she was the first person that showed me around the TARDIS, the actual set. It's a weird thing because you come and join this group of people who've been working very intensely for a very long time together, and you're sort of coming in as the sort of leading man. So you have a lot of, you know, I guess you could have some power if you wanted to throw it around, but what you really need is friends. And from day one, Jenna was my friend.
I mean, you're more alien now. I think that is fair to say. I'm more aware of the fact that the Doctor is an alien in this series than I have been before. There's a dynamic, and don't take this the wrong way, there's a slight Mork and Mindy dynamic.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean in a very dark way, obviously. But do you know what I mean? That you are sort of discovering the world for the first time, it seems, and you are his steady hand.
I think you know you're going to have this dynamic, and you know it is this double act, and instantly it was just easy. I think because Peter's so generous as an actor and so lovely and intelligent as a man, it just instantly became very easy.
And you, Samuel, when you got the part, do you know when you get the first script what's going to happen in script 12? Did you know that? I'm going to say Danny dies, but who knows? But did you know?
No, when I auditioned, I was told that it may be a recurring role.
But it was recurring.
Yeah, so I didn't even know I was recurring. I didn't even know I was auditioning for a full-time job. It was, I text Jenna, I see you on set, thinking it was like I was, you know, turn up to a couple of days' work, and she texts me back.
Really?
A-G-H. I'll call you in 5 minutes. And she called me in 5 minutes. She was like, "This is huge. You know, you're in Doctor Who." I was like, I thought it was just the possibility of doing one or two. One of
the dynamics in this series was between the Doctor and Danny. That was never really... do you feel that was resolved in the end? It was always pretty spiky. It felt, although it wasn't a love triangle, it felt like a love triangle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This not being romantic love, but this being a strong bond of friendship, and then this guy comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think the Doctor is very possessive about Clara. I mean, whatever... you know, he has a very, very deep bond with Clara because essentially Clara saved him, saved the being that the Doctor is. And that is something that he feels very grateful to her about. And, you know, you've always got to remember the Doctor's not a human being. So his emotional responses to things are expressions of a far deeper and more complex sort of relationship with the universe. But he's introduced. He suddenly has a new body, and it suddenly has human components, and suddenly there are emotions flying around in it. So he has to use it as a conduit. This is a very long, protracted answer, simply to say yes, he was slightly jealous of the fact that this very handsome young man was spending time with this person whom he felt very close to. But also, I mean, I think Samuel has done a wonderful job, and he brings a great leading man quality to the part. He brings a great authority and sort of moral centre to it.
He looks great as well.
He looks great as well, and he's very cool. And the Doctor is not on the surface all of those things, so he's quite threatening to the Doctor, I think.
They've also never had their bubble interrupted before, I don't think. Like, it's always been the two of them until Mr. Pink arrives.
Have you and Michelle worked together? Because speaking of chemistry, you were just like...
No.
It was like you had been the Doctor and you had been the Master, and you knew each other all that.
Well, we know each other. We have a great mutual friend.
I always assume that all Scottish people know each other.
Yeah. In a way, that's sort of true, isn't it?
It is kind of true. There's only 10 of us.
Yeah.
And we've all got right rotten hair and a strong profile.
No, she's fabulous, and I've seen a lot of her work, and I've been to see shows, and she's absolutely wonderful, obviously. But I think we just sort of know...
Well, I thought I knew Peter because of we'll name our friend, dear friend, Lindy.
Yeah.
And so I always felt like I knew Peter through Lindy.
Yeah.
And vice versa, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then when we met...
Yeah.
It was just very sort of instantly sort of familiarity there, probably a wee bit too familiar.
Over-familiar.
Over-familiar, given that we had
security.
never really known one another. But we shared a banana and it was all fine.
How do you decide who to cast? Do you get approached often? So how does this come? Do people actually...
Do I get approached often by you?
Mine was a bit different. There can't be many people who've just outwardly begged for a part.
Well, Peter Capaldi used to write into the BBC about Doctor Who.
But I never begged to be Doctor Who. I never. In fact, I even turned down the opportunity to audition for the role of Doctor Who in the one that Paul McGann did.
Did you?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What was in your mind?
I think. Well, I knew I wouldn't get it.
I thought maybe you knew Eric Roberts was in it.
No. I just. I loved the show so much that I didn't want to have anything to do with it unless it was going to be me.
Or you didn't trust it being...
No, I just didn't want to have the disappointment and go through all the palaver of jumping through hoops for something that I would never get. Because I knew it was an American pilot thing, and I knew they would go for somebody who was well known, which Paul was, and he was fantastic. So I said, no, I won't come along for the
that's
audition.
New fact.
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
very exciting.
really interesting. Think of the amount of Big Finish you would have done by now.
Well, you could do Night of the Doctor.
Thank you all for the fabulous work on this. Thank you.